Hello doll fans and welcome back to Beauty Insider Box. Today we are talking about bling! Rainbow High and Shadow High, and more specifically we're talking about, is Rainbow High in trouble? Do we need to be worried about Rainbow High? I'm a little bit late to the party on this one. I touched on this topic a little bit in one of my doll news videos, but basically Rainbow High has recently had a rebrand, a reboot, and the fans are worried. The fans are worried. They're taking the brand in a different direction, a lot more of a kind of gimmicky, younger, child-orientated direction. A lot of the edginess and the kind of fashion-focusedness of the dolls has been taken out, as well as quite a lot of the quality. I have some of my own theories for why I think this is happening, and I think looking into Rainbow High's history gives us a lot of clues for why this is happening. But anyway, before we go on any further, I just want to say, if you enjoy dolls as much as I do, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, as well as checking me out on Instagram and TikTok, and also check out my Patreon. I have 4 exclusive videos on my Patreon, and later on today, I'm actually going to do a live stream with my patrons. So if you're interested in checking out my Patreon, subscription starts from just $3. Very reasonable, if I say so myself. Your support would mean a lot. But anyway, let's talk about Rainbow High. So Rainbow High is a doll line released by MGA in mid-2020, when we were all stuck at home and had nothing else to do except think about dolls. Anyway, Rainbow High was pretty much an instant success. By August 2020, it was the #3 top-selling fashion doll in the US. And doll fans and doll collectors really applauded Rainbow High's quality and attention to detail. They had really cool designs, incredible hair quality, and for a while, it seemed as if the doll line was just getting better and better and better. But recently, at the end of last year, Rainbow High had a soft, very, very soft reboot. And personally, I think as far as doll reboots go, this one isn't that bad. It could be a lot worse. I mean, when you think about Monster High and Ever After High, their rebrands in the past have been extremely disappointing. And this Rainbow High reboot is like, it doesn't feel like a massive shift, I think. But you may have your own opinions, let me know in the comments. This is one of the Shadow High dolls from 2023, right at the beginning of 23. And like, the quality is pretty amazing. She has these incredible painted nails, this incredibly detailed coat. She also has these shoes, which are made out of real fabric. You know, we don't see that with doll lines, which only cost like 30, 35 pounds. She also has incredible hair. I mean, these dolls are just really unmatched, in my opinion. And anyway, this is one of the reboot dolls. This is one of the newer dolls. And, you know, they've lost a bit of articulation in the wrist, and the designs are slightly more simplified, but I think overall, they're still pretty good. It's a shame about the shoes. I mean, the shoes are like my biggest disappointment, but you know, it's still quite a nice doll, I think, personally. But anyway, Rainbow High was always really celebrated by the adult doll collecting community, but now it seems like they're turning their back on that community to focus more on the younger, you know, kid demographic, which, you know, makes a lot of sense, obviously. It always gets me so annoyed when people are up in my comments like, these are made for kids, they're not for adults, blah, blah, blah. It's a complicated argument. Obviously, dolls and toys are made for kids, but now more than ever, there is a massive adult collector community. So, you know, I think doll brands do try and walk the line between pleasing kids and pleasing adults. I think the biggest disappointment with these new dolls is the inclusion of the dreaded slime gimmick. Oh my goodness. Yes, slime. As in that toy trend from like 2018. MGA, stop trying to make slime happen. It's not going to happen. Maybe slime is still super popular with kids. I don't know. But interestingly enough, Rainbow High actually has history with the slime gimmick. If Rainbow High went on Ancestry.com, their bloodline would like just be slime. Rainbow High were originally a spin-off of a line called Poopsie Slime Surprise, which were released in 2018.
Poopsie, 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 poopsie surprise unicorn. Give her magic food. You won't believe your eyes. Put her on the potty. Unicorn slime surprise. Unicorn magic color change. Poopsie surprise. Each sold separately.
And this line was quite successful. And MGA, I think, wanted to mimic the success of their LOL Surprise OMG dolls by creating a spin-off fashion doll line to the Poopsie Surprise line. And interestingly enough, Rainbow High actually wasn't their first attempt. Their first attempt came in 2019 when they created the Poopsie Rainbow Surprise dolls. And I actually used to have one of these dolls, but I have no idea where I put her. I think I buried her in the attic somewhere because I wasn't a massive fan and she was really expensive. She was like £60. Anyway.
Rainbow surprise, slime fashion DIY. Rainbow surprise, 20 magical surprises inside. Mix magic sparkle slime, put it inside. You design jackets, skirts, shoes, glitter and shine, shine, shine. Rainbow dream, pixie rose.
These dolls were 14 inches, so they were a bit taller than the Rainbow High dolls, and they had the slime gimmick, in which you could insert slime into their clothing and into their shoes. Oh, into their shoes? Does that gimmick sound familiar? Oh yes, that is because it is the same gimmick which you can do with these new Rainbow High dolls. You can put slime into the heels of their shoes. They also come with pets, really hideous pets, which actually look quite similar to some of the pets you could get with the Poopsie line of toys. The pets for the Rainbow High dolls, you can also put slime in them. You can just put slime everywhere. It gets very messy, and the slime smells weird. The Poopsie Rainbow Surprise dolls clearly weren't as popular as MGA were hoping or expecting, because by the next year, they had reworked the idea and created the line of 11-inch dolls, the Rainbow High dolls. And the existing Poopsie Rainbow Surprise dolls were rebranded to fit the Rainbow High aesthetic. At the start, adult collectors were obsessed with the Rainbow High dolls, although there were a couple criticisms, especially with the lack of diversity with the original lineup. But MGA seemed at the start to be quite good at listening to fans' concerns and were, you know, making small improvements as the line went on. That was up until 2023, with the release of the Shadow High Series 2 dolls and the Rainbow High Series 5 dolls. This was the first time we saw a really obvious decline in quality when MGA decided to remove the second outfits, which the dolls had become kind of famous for. I have to say, I don't really mind the lack of the second outfit, because I felt like the first outfit was like super high quality, and you know, there was normally one outfit I liked more than the other anyway. I don't know, I didn't mind so much. I was still on board with Rainbow High at this point. Whilst Rainbow High seemed to be aimed at the older kids demographic and the adult collectors, the Poopsie brand was obviously aimed at a younger audience. And Rainbow High wasn't their only attempt at a spin-off for the Poopsie Slime Surprise. They also created Poopsie Cutie Tooties and Poopsie Sparkle Critters and Fantasy Friends.
and poopsie cutie unicorns.
They also created glitter babies and glitter babies unicorns, which weren't technically a spin-off of the Poopsie line, but they were very similar in aesthetic and style to the Poopsie dolls. The Glitter Babies line specifically was discontinued in 2021, and all of the Poopsie dolls and the spin-off lines were completely discontinued by 2022, if not earlier. The Poopsie Surprise Instagram account hasn't posted since 2021, which leads me to my theory for why we are getting this rebrand of Rainbow High. You see, Rainbow High was obviously aimed at a slightly older audience, whereas Poopsie Surprise was aimed at a younger audience. Since MGA doesn't really have many doll lines left that are specifically aimed at a younger child audience, I think this is why they decided to rebrand Rainbow High and make it more of a Rainbow High meets Poopsie Slime Surprise hybrid, so that they can appeal to both the younger and older kid demographic. And to be honest, I think a similar thing is starting to happen with the OMG dolls as the LOL Surprise dolls start to decline in popularity. Rainbow High also used to be known for referencing high-end fashion brands. These references have also seemingly completely been removed from the new rebrand. This is probably partly because younger audiences won't notice or care about the references, but it also could be to do with some of the lawsuits and claims of plagiarism that MGA has had to face in recent years. Poopsie Surprise had a couple products which parodied famous designer brands such as Fart Jacobs and Pooey Paton. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this brand was real. It feels like a fever dream. Anyway, MGA actually tried to sue Louis Vuitton because they thought that Louis Vuitton might be trying to sue them. It's all very confusing. Anyway, the case was thrown out, but basically MGA was nervous that they were encroaching on Louis Vuitton's copyright. Anyway, BMG actually filed a lawsuit against MGA for plagiarizing the Black Eyed Peas song, which they owned, called My Humps. The MGA song in question was for the Poopsie line of toys, and it was called My Poops. They reached some sort of settlement in 2023, but oh my goodness, I cannot believe MGA attempted this, because the songs are literally the same. They just swap out the word humps for poops.
My poops, my poops, my poops. What you gonna do with all that poop?
Anyway, I think technically it does fall under fair use because it's classed as a parody, but still, it's pretty wild. Anyway, all this drama might be why MGA aren't interested in parodying or referencing popular brands anymore in their doll lines.
Okay, I realised as I was editing this that Ruby is still wearing her sparkle t-shirt which references Supreme, but overall there is definitely a lot less references to famous fashion brands.
But to be honest, I'm personally glad, because a lot of the brands that Rainbow High would reference, I felt were kind of like cringy brands. Like, I don't know if this is just because I'm from the UK and we have different style references here, but Supreme and Off-White and stuff like that haven't been considered like cool in a while, like long before Rainbow High was even released. Like, if I saw someone wearing a Supreme t-shirt, I would be a little bit like, oh god, that's cringe, why are you wearing that? And, you know, the whole flaunting labels aesthetic has kind of fallen out of favor in recent years. So the fact that Rainbow High relied on it so heavily, I found a bit cringe personally. But again, that could just be my personal taste.
The Rainbow High fans had also often asked MGA to release fashion packs for the dolls, but be careful what you wish for, because they finally have released fashion packs, but they are pretty awful. And also, now we don't get a second outfit with each doll, so it feels like we're paying for something we used to get included.
MGA also brought out a line of extremely basic Rainbow High swimsuit dolls, and this was the first time we saw a complete lack of articulation. They only have the basic 5 points, the same basic 5 points which Barbie seems to be obsessed with using. There's no articulation at the knees, none at the elbows or the wrists, but these dolls only cost about £14, they're quite cheap, and the quality is still pretty good. I was surprised, to be honest. The outfits look nice, they still have inset eyes, they don't have painted nails, but you know, like, it could be worse, and as a budget option, I think these are quite nice. As long as we still get articulated options, then I'm personally happy. There are also theories online that MGA are allocating more money and resources into the Bratz comeback, since Isaac Larian seems to be hell-bent on competing with Barbie, and I think Bratz is the only doll line which has that longevity, which has that kind of iconic nostalgic element. Because I mean, like, millennials aren't going to be nostalgic for Rainbow High because Rainbow High's only been about for 4 years. At the beginning of this year, Bratz released Always Bratz, which was their first kind of playline doll, which wasn't a tie-in with a fashion brand or anything. Doll line which also wasn't a reproduction or anything. The first one for a really long time. Like since 2016, I'd say. And I personally love Always Bratz, and I am really here for the Bratz revival. It is a shame that we can't have both. We can't have the Bratz revival and, you know, high quality Rainbow High dolls. But to be honest, in answer to the question, should we be worried about Rainbow High, I would say no. I think this brand still has a long way to go. I think the quality's dipped slightly. I think this is just more of a restructuring effort more than it is a slow decline. I think we've still got more to see from Rainbow High. And, you know, that said, coming to my final point, we got some leaks. I'm only going to show these images very briefly because I don't like showing low quality leaked images. Rainbow High are going to release a whole line of winter themed dolls, and they have these really over the top puffer jackets. One of them looks like a mermaid. I actually think these look incredible and I'm really excited for them. They do have like a slime gimmick, I think, or something like that, but you know what, I'll take it. I'll take it because these dolls look really nice. We're also getting another kind of creatable line, and these actually look better than the ones we got before, I think. And we're getting a line where they have like snow globe legs. Rainbow High is also branching out into a lot more kind of fantastical, fantasy-inspired lines, which I don't hate. It's a new direction for the brand. I don't mind the inclusion of fantasy elements. As long as they're doing a good job with it, as long as it doesn't become like Dreamtopia or something, which I don't think it is. I think these are really cool. And we may even see the return of Poppy, who seemed to just disappear with the most recent line. So personally, I think for the time being, the future is bright for Rainbow High. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching my video, doll fans. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here, like this video if you enjoyed it, check me out on Instagram and TikTok, and also check out my Patreon. Your support would mean a lot, and I'll see you real soon. Bye!
Thank you to Siren Kelly and all of my amazing patrons. Your support means everything.